All right. So it's 5:31, so I guess we'll go ahead and start. I gavel in the meeting at 5:31 p.m. Bam. All right. Let's do roll call, and I'll go down the list, and if y'all could introduce yourself when I call on y'all, that'll be great. Let's do name, pronouns, positions, and if you dressed up for Halloween, what you dressed up as. Let's do that. Candace, do you mind starting?
Yes, Candace Martinez Doan, Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance. I also serve as the SGA Advisor. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm not a voting member, and I have to pop out real quick to go finish another meeting with the leadership blueprint.
Oh, okay.
That's why Bee's not here because she's on that other call, but we'll be right back.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
sorry.
Thanks, Candace.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Brittany Brown.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brown. You all can call me Brittany. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs. So that means that I provide leadership for Campus Life, the Center for Democracy and Civic Life, as well as off campus student services. Great to be here.
Thanks, Dr. Brown.
Oh, and I did not dress up for Halloween.
It'd be like that. Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica. I'm secretary, and for Halloween, I had to go with Elon Musk. He's awesome.
Nice. Mission to Mars. Francesca.
Hello, Cooper. I use she her pronouns. I am a freshman shadowing the Senate, and then I did not dress up for Halloween. My sister and I got my cat a taco costume.
Oh, that's really cute. You have to send us pictures later. Joel.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Joel Dwyer, he, him, his, and I'm the Associate Director for Campus Life Operations and a disciple of Dr. Brittany Brown. I went as an unemployed magician for Halloween because that's what I have been lately. So there you go.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Joshua.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joshua Gray. I use he, him, his pronouns. I serve as the Vice President for Student Organizations, and I did not dress up, but I threw on my biggest, warmest blanket and sat in front of the TV, so that's how I celebrated.
I think that counts. Julius.
Hello, my name is Julius. Wait, can you hear me? Okay. Hello, my name is Julius Gale. I'm an SGA Senator. My pronouns are he, him, his. For Halloween, I kind of dressed up as my brother. If you guys saw my Instagram post on that day, we kind of put each because we had like apparel or like stuff from like all different schools. So I just like faked like I was him, and I went on a post saying like, "Hi, this is my name is Jordan." Blah blah blah. I told everyone my major. It was funny because some people actually thought that was my brother. I didn't tell them yet that was me.
Oh, Julius, I thought that was your twin brother. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, that was me.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it tricked me. Kayla.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I am a senator. My pronouns are she, her. And for Halloween, I dressed up as an e-girl.
Nice. Maria.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maria. I'm an SGA senator. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I didn't dress up for Halloween. I just watched some scary movies.
Oh, cool. Spooky. Mati. Oh, I saw earlier you were in the chat. Mati, SGA Senator, she, her, hers pronouns, and no Halloween for me. Gotcha. Thanks, Mati. Rashad.
Hi everyone, my name is Marshall Devon. I'm a third year student majoring in biology and physics. I'm also serving as the elected president of our Student Government Association. For this Halloween, I dressed up as a prisoner to raise awareness about the corrupt prison systems that we have in the nation.
Ooh, topical. Mena.
Hi everyone, my name is Menna and I'm an SGA officer for this year. My pronouns are she, hers, and for this Halloween, I did not dress up.
Thanks, Mena. Naila Benet is a SGA senator. She, her pronouns, and no Halloween for them either. Patrick.
Hi, my name is Patrick Reed. My pronoun are he, him, his. I serve as a senator for the Student Government Association. This year I went as a lifeguard to Halloween.
Ocean City, man. Thanks, Patrick. Wendy?
Hi, I'm Wendy. I use she, their pronouns. I didn't dress up as anything for Halloween. Oh, I'm also the Assistant Speaker of the Senate.
Thanks, Wendy. And Z?
They, them. I dressed up as Bowsette, and I won the Office of Health Promotions, our little costume contest we had.
Nice, congratulations. Bowsette, that's a throwback. And Nick, if you could introduce yourself, your position, and what you dressed up as Halloween for.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Nick Grempler. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm double majoring in political science and history, along with minoring in Spanish. I'm a freshman, and I'm, of course, a first-year ambassador working with Kai on the Menstrual Products Initiative, and I'm also in conjunction with the Academic Conduct Committee. For Halloween, I did not wear a costume in the light of the pandemic. However, I did watch a lot of good scary movies with my friends, most notably, if any of y'all know Halloween, Michael Myers.
Ooh, that's classic.
Yeah.
All right, I believe that's everybody. Thanks, Nick. And I'll dive into this land acknowledgement here. An adaptation from Dr. Jasmine Lee, the Director of Inclusive Excellence, stated, related to our value of inclusive excellence, we would like to acknowledge that UMBC is built on the native tribal lands of the indigenous Piscataway Conoy tribes. We acknowledge the painful history of forced removal from this territory, honor their history as cultivators of this land, and respect the many diverse indigenous people still gathered to this land on which we gather, even if we are on a virtual space. So, thank you for that. And Dr. Brown, Joel, the floor is all yours for the revisions on policy.
Awesome. So thanks so much for having us today. A little bit of context. I reached out to Mershad and Alex Riddle as our student government undergraduate and graduate presidents as we made a few updates, revisions to 3 policies that are specifically are very closely related to hosting events. Those are our facilities use policy, our notices, or excuse me, our sales and solicitation policy, and then this one is a long one, our posting of notices and event roadway and footpath signage. That sounds like a dissertation, but basically that governs where we can post stuff and where we can't. And so we realized as we were sort of reading through those policies that some of the language was a little bit dated and some of it was a little bit unclear. And so decided that for our campus partners, you all, folks all across campus, and even our campus visitors, we needed to update our policies such that they were clear and that when people did have questions, they knew exactly who to call for those things. And so I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to pass the baton to Joel. Joel and our partners in the Office of General Counsel did a lot of the heavy lifting here. And so, Joel, if you want to just give a quick summary of what the updates are, and then we can open up the floor for questions.
Sure. I've been at UMBC for 17 years, and it feels like I've been working on these policies for about 22 of them. So do the math. Of the policies that Dr. Brown mentioned, a lot of our work on most of them was just to bring them so that they referenced each other consistently. And so let me give you some examples. So through many of the policies, we went and made sure that the defined terms that are included in the policies. So if you've read any of the campus policies up close, there's, 6 or 7 sections to each one. And one of them is definitions. which defines the terms that you use as you discuss the policy. And so many of these policies have been revised at different points over the course of history. And so over the years, we had cleaned several of them up. The older versions contained a lot of internal process and procedure that would be, so for example, event and conference services has certain internal procedures, guidelines, protocols, things that they use to manage the work. All of that stuff was also rolled into the old versions of the policies, which isn't a proper way to have a policy written and stored. So we cleaned a lot of that up. And so the most recent work that we did was just making sure terms are up to date, that they're consistent across, that all those internal procedures are referenced correctly in those policies where they apply. The most significant work was really done on the posting of notices and event roadway and footpath signage, or whatever the dissertation is called, because that was the last vestige of the policies that I took a look at in conjunction with Student Affairs and General Counsel. It was the last one that still contained all that old legacy procedure stuff that was still written into it. So it was large and long and cumbersome. So we cleaned it up, and again, did all the same things that I mentioned we did to the other policies so that they're all consistent and up to date with current trends and things that they need to address. So I'm happy to answer any questions the group has.
Thanks, Joel. So now, as Rashad said in his email, the Senate wanted an opportunity to ask questions because there are certainly implications for sort of life after COVID, and how these policies influence the ability of student orgs to host events and do tabling and things like that. So yeah, we welcome your questions.
I have a quick question. I noticed that in the email you sent out, y'all said y'all updated terms and definitions. Could you list like a few of the updated language around that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't remember all of them exactly off the top of my head, but it was things like campus-based user, external user, sponsored user, UMBC facility, right? Like UMBC facility is a very broad term that can encompass a lot of different things because it doesn't just refer to campus proper, right? We have the Columbus Center downtown. Okamoka is now part of our UMBC facility. So part of it was just bringing some of those terms up to date in all the policies and then making sure we're using the same terminology across. But it was little generic terms or general terms like that. And it's worth mentioning these policies are posted on umbc.edu/policies. I think that's the website. And so you can search for any of them.
Joshua has a question.
Is this only for senators? Am I allowed to ask questions in this period?
Yeah, no, the floor is open to everybody. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Dr. Brown and Joel, do you have plans for kind of, rolling this out to student organizations and making sure that they are aware of the new updates?
When you say roll this out, do you mean in a campaign sort of situation, or do you mean just like a general update or notice? I guess I'm asking because, Joel, correct me if I'm wrong here, the actual sort of meat and substance of these policies haven't really changed. They were just updated for consistency's sake in some ways. And so if you think it is something that would be valuable, then we would be happy to do that. Although I don't know, I think that might imply that something really big changed. And in this case, it did. Now, there are times when policies are updated a lot and there's been an overhaul and there are a series of sort of approvals that they have to go through. But I would be a little bit reticent to roll something out like this because the meat of it hasn't changed and it doesn't really influence your ability to host, your ability to post things as long as you're posting them in the right places. Joel, what are your thoughts on that? How have past policies been shared?
Well, more often than not, we share them in the course of our work with student organizations as we're advising them in event conference services. These policies are no secret. They're posted on the policies website. But by and large, unless you're asking to do something, that a policy prohibits or provides some certain specific structure to, they by and large just live in the background and sort of govern what we do. I think there are really good things in all of these policies that would be helpful for student orgs to know. I mean, particularly facilities use, particularly the posting of notices, because since it's been cleaned up, it's a lot easier to read, and it talks about where you can post and how to reserve spots for posting and things, who approves certain areas of posting and things like that. That really would be helpful for orgs to know. I don't really have a plan for rolling it out. I think it's something that you guys should consider bringing up in conversations in your work with student organizations. I think we can also look for ways through campus life engagement to share that out through the MyUMBC groups and stuff that we manage, that all orgs are a member of. Because again, it's no secrets, and there's really good information in there that help you make informed choices as a student organization, and also understand sometimes why you can't do a particular thing in a particular way you want to do it. If that makes sense.
Rashad?
Hi. So while I was comparing the old policy, new policy, I noticed that there's a lot of new language updates to the violations of the policies, and I was wondering if are new developments, or is that something that's always been there but it wasn't included in the old policy? A lot of violations were also really, really interesting to me. So I was just wondering how, the what is it, the repercussions for for violations of those policies, really, really interesting to me. Just wondering if that's, something that's uniform across all policies at UMBC, or are these like new updates to them?
Yeah, thanks, Mirshad. I can't speak for all policies because there's a lot of them. This was a piece that General Counsel really wanted to incorporate, because it is a section in the policy template that the university uses for their policies. But again, keep in mind that some of the policies listed on the policies website haven't been given a thorough review like these 4 or 5 that we've taken a look at recently. So a lot of them probably don't have robust built out sections like we did. I think part of the logic behind doing that for I think it's called the violation section, if I'm not mistaken, is because, it does have implications for campus-based users, right? Like if you blatantly ignore or disregard a policy or advising that you get in the process of doing something, whether it's posting or not reserving a space and trying to hold an event or something like that, we wanted to make sure that campus-based users sort of knew what the process or flow would be if we needed to follow up on that behavior. And for student organizations or for students, it's usually the Code of Student Conduct or Student Conduct and Community Standards process. And I think it even references where they can find more information about that. So those are new developments. And I would go so far as to say they're probably not a part of every campus policy, because not every campus policy really relates to like things that students or student orgs would look to do, but these policies do. And so we felt it important for students to have the complete picture of what happens when someone disregards an element of the policy and intentionally. Mashad, I don't even know if that came close to answering your question. Was that?
So it did. Thank you. I
Okay.
guess I was just asking for a point of clarification, just because as I was reading the old policy, I didn't see any of those repercussions for violating the policy. So I was just wondering if these are like new I guess punishments, or have they always been there but never just noted on the policy?
Yeah, try not to think of them in terms of punishments. Think of them in terms of processes. And by and large, the processes are not new, right? Like we've always had a code of student conduct or a student judicial hearing process. We just went so far as to finally sort of enumerate or list that in the policies, so that campus-based users had the full picture of everything. But the things that we're mentioning there, we didn't develop as new and then name in the policy. They've always existed. They just haven't been so explicitly enumerated, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good questions. You guys are on a roll. I don't have departments asking these tough questions. You guys are doing great.
Right. Other questions folks might have about the policies?
If we have any future questions, where should we go to?
Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Dr. Brittany Brown.
No, feel free to reach out to either of us. You'll see throughout the policy that event and conference services is named quite a bit. And so if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Joel or I. But Joel also leads the ECS team. And so Joel and any of his team can also answer these questions for you. As he stated, when students are working to plan events and do tabling, and if you're doing fundraisers or something like that in the breezeway, these are the policies that apply to those. And so you'll likely at least have some conversation about it with like Jason Fowler and folks like that who are in the ECS office. So yes, so feel free to reach out to either of us. Joel doesn't do that much, and so he's always available. I'm kidding. But no, feel free to reach out to us, but also anybody on the ECS team can very easily and would happily answer any questions for you.
Yeah, Kai, like I'm super approachable on this kind of stuff. I've sort of become sort of this campus policy guru on some of these because I've been so immersed in like their revisions with other people. So like if anyone in SGA or any of our student orgs, if something comes up, just reach out to me on Teams or something, shoot me an email. I'm happy to come clarify anything or provide rationale for why a thing is written the way it is and what it means if you need to interpret it or anything like that.
Great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I also just want to put in a plug for these policies that as our student leaders, you all are our best ambassadors. And so these are not the most riveting things that you want to read, but if you have a chance, definitely take a look at them because it gives you all some tools to help us out when folks say, well, why can't I table here? Or why can't I use a bullhorn down academic row? And so it sort of equips you with some tools to help answer those questions. And so again, not very riveting reading, but if you have an opportunity, definitely take a look and help us and help to be ambassadors for us as we kind of make sure that student orgs are able to do things and able to do them in a way that is safe. So thank you all.
Oh, thank you. Most definitely. We'll get to know this like it's in the back of our head.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Have a great meeting, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your nights.
Cheers.
Okay, I will now go ahead and reshare my screen. I skipped over the meeting minutes. There we go. Whoop. There we go. All right. I presumptively skipped the approval of the agenda in the minutes. So is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Wendy. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Mario. All right. General consent? Okay. All right. Motion's passed through general consent. Let's look at the minutes. Our lovely secretary, Erica, did all these wonderful minutes and very appreciative of all the hard work you do, Erica. So thank you so much for doing the minutes. I looked at this earlier today and I didn't see any comments or amendments. So unless I missed something, is there a motion on the floor?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right, we got a second. Is there a general consent? All right, motion passed through general consent. Let's move on to, wow, we're on a roll. Let's move on to the confirmations. So we have two confirmations. First up is Nick. Nick, if you're there, hi. This is the Senate appointee for the Academic Conduct Committee. I just noticed there's an extra A in there. All right. So yeah, Nick, if you could just go ahead and introduce yourself and give like a brief explanation why you're best fit for this role and, non-biases and all that.
Yeah, so since the beginning of my first fall semester here at UMBC, I obligated myself and I really wanted to join the Student Government Association because as someone who wants to in the future pursue a field in public service, I feel that this would be the quintessential extracurricular activity to not only learn the fundamentals of leadership and service, but also to expand my horizons, meet new people, and do as much as I physically can to better the environment here at UMBC. And that, of course, includes working extensively with every single member of the SGA. And with this particular position, I feel that that will help, facilitate my really adjustment to this extracurricular. As a freshman, of course, in general, this is my first time joining and participating in a university extracurricular. I am really excited to start with this responsibility, and I feel that whenever being called upon to substitute for a senator, you can rely on me for transparency, honesty, integrity, and of course, communication. I feel that all those traits are fundamental to anyone who wants to go into this type of committee and who wants to, overall be a member of the SGA, either in any branch, judicial, executive, or legislative. And again, as a freshman, this is very new for me to a certain extent. However, I am very excited and prepared to start this new journey. Because, in high school, they didn't really have a vibrant SGA program there. I was in Model United Nations and it's academic. However, that does not mean that I was not interested in wanting to pursue this type of extracurricular at that point in time. And now, of course, while in university, I have the opportunity to do so. So that's all I have to say. Excuse me.
Thanks, Nick. That was wonderful. Great introduction or speech. I don't know what you call it. I'm horrible at English. But yes, just a reminder that this is for a backup in case a member of the ACC cannot attend and will be notified within 24 to 48 hours in advance to fill in that role for student representation. Patrick, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, just a point of order, point of clarification. First, Nick, that was a great introduction. That was one of the better ones I've heard in a long time. So I give you that. That was very very succinct to the point. I liked it. But
thank you.
Point of order on that. Do we actually have to confirm people to this, or is this just an appointment that can be made because it's a shared governance committee? I didn't think we had to actually go through a full legislation package for that.
I was under the assumption that we had to, considering the Academic Conduct Committee was a closed committee and only senators are only to be seated in the Committee for Student Representation. But I could be wrong.
No, that would make sense. I guess committee that would make sense. I wasn't sure because it's an alternate to a SGC. I didn't know if we had to do that, but I was just curious. I don't know either way. I was just asking. But thank you, Kai.
Of course. Yeah. Are there any questions for Nick? Or any discussion points?
This isn't really a question per se, just a discussion point, because my usual question would go along the lines of what are your commitments, stuff like that. But you just said that this is your first and only really commitment is being an FYA, and this is kind of the first extracurricular activity you have at UMBC. So clearly that states to me that you have the time to commit to this opportunity. So I'm good with that. and your enthusiasm tells me that you're willing to take this on. So I have really nothing else to say besides getting this over with and approving the man.
Yeah, definitely. You know, as I think the only requirement is that as long as they can be non-biased as well as like be not afraid to voice out their concern, and if they're free on Mondays at 1 p.m. I think that's all I was looking for. But yes, great point, Julius. Is there any discussion points? Or if not, is there a motion on the floor?
Move to approve SL 27-2021.
Second.
All right, we got a second. All right, I'm opening up a poll, and please remember that only voting members can vote. And if you have to ask yourself, am I a voting member? You're probably not a voting member. Only senators, please vote.
I see we're moving up in the world with polling now. This is exciting.
We have
Yeah,
technology.
we learned from the first SRC meeting, which took 7 hours.
Oh, there should be. I believe we're missing one. I vote for. I don't know how to vote in my own poll. I vote for, so that's 9. I believe we're missing one vote because Emmanuel cannot join us today. Okay. All right, last chance. Okay, so number of senators for is 9. Oh, there we go, 10. And you know, my computer likes to freeze, and I'm very scared that it's not cooperating. There we go. All right, number of senators for is 10, 0 opposed, 0 abstaining, 1 not present. And with that, this passes. Congratulations, Nick. I do want to set a note out there to the members who sit on Academic Conduct Committee to let our Senate appointees to sit in this committee 24 to 48 hours in advance. If you know you can't make it to ACC, just let them know within 24 to 48 business hours. Great. All right, and basically the same thing. Congratulations, Nick. So now we're moving on to the first person for Mahira. Unfortunately, she had a time conflict during her Senate meeting, but this is what she wrote on behalf. Okay. Okay, so Mahira says, as an honors college student, I have successfully showcased my ability to represent a community that is academically and ethically sincere. In the past, I've always followed any rules implemented by professors and do not have a record against me. Also, as a student, I present an unbiased opinion due to my loyalty and strive to create a fair and academically driven environment. Lastly, as a substitute for a senator, my main priority will be to represent what the school takes pride in showcasing, whether that be punishment in the case of academic misconduct or unfair treatment. Very well typed, said. So yes, basically the same deal. Are there any discussion points y'all want to talk about with Mahira's confirmation?
I don't know if anyone knows anyone person that's in the honors program at UMBC right now. What do they really look like right now due to COVID-19, like the activities and things like that?
That's a great question.
I don't know if anyone can answer that question.
I'm personally not in the honors college. Is there anybody in here that is?
I think that because this is such a small commitment. I think that like if this person is appointed and then they are no longer able to kind of meet those commitments, I think they should be removed definitely. But I think that because this is like such a rare occasion where there's going to be somebody's missing from HCC, which only meets once a week for an hour, I would hope that this person knows there's a time at that time. But I would think that this shouldn't be an issue. But that's just my opinion on the subject there.
Yes, I do agree with that. Rashad.
So I think I'm actually one of the only people in this actually personally seen Mahira's work in person, and she is, and I'm the president, so I'm not supposed to be making any comments on this. So I want to stay biased, but since I'm the only person that I've seen her work, I think she'll do great for this very, very small commitment that she's applying for. She's been working diligently with the Department of Senate Connections, and she's also been, writing pieces and doing work for the newsletter. So she definitely has a passion and a determination to do a great job at this. And like Patrick stated, I feel like this is a very, very, very low commitment for her, and she's ready to take on so much more in SGA.
Well, thanks, Rashad, for on her behalf. Are there any more discussion points? And if not, is there a motion on the floor?
I move to approve SL 28-2021.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. I'll open up the poll. And voting members, please vote. Senators, there we go. I do vote for, because this will not allow me to vote in my own poll, sadly. I believe we are missing 2 votes. Okay, last call for votes. Give it a few more seconds. All right. Oh no, you're good. And with that, we have 10 senators for. Oh, computer's doing a thing. 10 senators for, 0 opposed, 0 abstaining, 1 not present. And with that, the SL passes. Congratulations, Mahira, wherever you are in class, I hope. Cool. All right, we are very ahead of schedule, which is nice. John, you would like to have the president's announcement. The floor is all yours.
All right, so I only have 2 things for today. Election extravaganza tomorrow. I'm sure you're there if you can, and if your time allows it, and if you want to. It's an SGA event with GSA and Center for Democracy Civic Lab, so it would be beneficial for y'all to be there. Also, I'm looking for 3 students. Here we go with the committees again. I'm looking for 3 students who sit on the student regent nominating committee. It could be anyone. It's a low commitment. Like all the other committees, it's super low commitment. All you would basically do is work with David Hoffman and other people that are sitting on that committee. I need students within your networks to sit on to be appointed to student regents. So I see Mati, I see Kai, and the days and times are fluid as of now. Yep, that should be everything on my end. Appreciate y'all.
Great, thanks, Rashad. Let's go into senator updates. Julius, I believe you're the first on the list. Floor is all yours.
I can't. Wait, can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Let's see what I did. Yeah. So I completed the presentations for Initiative Night for both my initiative and the Free Metro Product Initiative. Of course, I'll probably go back in edit it around. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bland right now. I might add some memes to it or something like that. If that's professional, I don't really know. I would think about it. That's about it, really. I don't know. I just forgot to complete. I guess not all the stuff on there is completed. That's why I left it as in progress. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably revise the presentations, make sure they're really in tip-top shape for initiative night, and go from there.
Great, thanks, Julius. Emmanuel. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Manuel's not here. I had a moment. Wendy.
So I'm currently working on writing a JR. I don't know if it'll be done by next week, but I hope so. And then I'll meet with Aaron and Nibby, who are from MSCAC, just so like they're okay with what I'm putting out there. And I started recording my video for Initiative Night. That's not the Free Menstrual Products Initiative. So hopefully I'll have that done by this week also. So those are both in progress.
Great, thanks, Wendy. And if you need help on JR, I'm always here to help. Mati. Oh, Mati says that she will type. So in the meantime, Kayla, do you mind going? Kayla, you there?
So Kayla says that she's typing too, so I think you could call on Maria instead and then have them send it in the chat.
Oh yes. Oh, thank you. I didn't notice the chat. Yes, Mari.
Yeah, I had meetings with Candace Dodson-Reed from OEI and Nadia. I'm blanking on her last name, but she's the former president of We Believe You. And so as for updates for my primary initiative, I think a lot of it is dependent on election week. So I'm going to touch base with everybody at the end of this week to see what the action steps are, depending on tomorrow. And I'm waiting on hearing back from Grit Starter for the menstrual products initiative, and that's what I've been up to.
Oh, we love Candace Dotson Reed and Candace Martinez Dillon. Great. Thanks, Maria. Meta.
Hi. One update on the compost bins is I still haven't heard back from John Fox. So I think I'm just gonna go a different route from there and yeah, contact someone else. I started a new initiative for instead this one I feel like is a little bit more feasible since the compost one is a little bit complicated and it requires a lot of help. But I'm trying to put recycle bins in like these small mini recycle bins in every single apartment on campus and perhaps even dorms. And just to help students basically encourage them to actually recycle because a lot of them like it's something as small as like actually just using a separate bin, but I feel like this will actually promote students being more sustainable and practice more environmental stuff. And yeah, I emailed two people from the director of the Office of Sustainability, and I also reached out to Res Life, like Director Dolan. And yeah, for another initiative, the one that it's actually being done right now is the one that I just teamed up with the communications department to promote basically proper disposal of face mask and to also encourage students to wear cloth face masks to be more environmental cautious. And oh yeah, if anyone can please submit just like a quick 5-second video of just them putting on a cloth face mask to communications department tonight, please do so. So we can put a cute little video of the SGA officers doing that. And yeah, that's all.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds really neat. With the mask idea. I'm really excited to see the outcome of that. I just want to echo what Rashad typed in the chat. Mena is try reaching out to David Clerman. He's the assistant director of Res Life, and he's been apparently meeting with a lot of SGA officers as of late for the recycle bins. But yes, thank you so much, Mena. And I saw earlier Kayla typed they will be doing a meditation video in collaboration with International Stress Week and continuing correspondence with Okamoka. Ooh, I have a question about that. A meditation video, what outlet is that going to be in? Is that going to be in through like, say, Instagram or social media, or is that through like out there? And I'm assuming we'll be talking in the chat for that. Naila Benet, do you mind?
Hi, well, can y'all see me? Okay. So I had a meeting with Joshua Gray this past Sunday, and he gave me great context, Aaron Waddle and then Dr. Lee, because he thinks that, well, one, he helped me like finalize some of the ideas I had about the initiative and like how to get the cultural orgs to be on the Instagram page. And he suggested that I reach out to Campus Life and try and make it like a way to promote UMBC and its diversity during like a time like this for students who are looking at the school or freshmen who aren't on campus, so they'll know like this is what we do have. So it wouldn't really be like an extension of Pangea or anything like that, but it would be like a different avenue of what Pangea represents. And so from that meeting, I decided that I'm going to have this initiative take place in February because we only have like 4 real weeks of school left. And then over Christmas break, I can gather responses from the cultural orgs and see like which ones are interested. He did tell me that a lot of cultural orgs like are not responding a lot during this time, which makes a lot of sense. So if I have the time over break to like finalize my plans and reach out to different officers, I'll be able to like gain some more traction before it takes place on February. So that's where I'm at now. And I also started my sorry, I just choked. My presentation for the initiative night. So, yeah.
Oh, wonderful! I can't wait to see. I don't want to call it better Pangea, but your Pangea, part 2 in February.
Part 2, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Naila Benet.
Thank you.
Mati typed in the chat that they meeting with SOST this week and will join with their presidents at an excellence event next weekend, and we'll bring up the idea of collaboration to the various student board president and see how it'll go from there. And also reached out to IES and want to work with them on multicultural event. Yeah, I would also try to extenuate the February Naila Benet event with that, because I feel like it kind of coincides with each other. But yes, thanks, Mati. Patrick, yes.
All right. So one of the things that I've been working on this week, we're still waiting on different departments to kind of get back. That's more of Reem's thing right now. What I'm focusing on is I'm actually looking like at some of the peer institutions that have similar programs or have looked at also doing what we're doing. And what I would like to do is have basically some good case studies to present. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. We're still trying to compile some of the other places that we think would be like comparable. And also, I know like there's a list of like UMBC peer institutions, and also I forget the word for it, but there's like a name for an institution that we're looking up to that we seek to become. So I'm looking at some of those as well as I guess an aspirational idea. But yeah.
Dope. Cool. And Patrick, I just wanted to ask whether or not you'll be participating in the initiative night.
I definitely can. Let me shoot you an email real quick. That I had some questions about that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk after. But cool. Thanks, Patrick. Z. Z typed in the chat that they are making an action plan for Together All, so the day it gets launched can reach out to as many students as possible, getting on different platforms and reaching out to different orgs. So if anyone knows a relevant org or person to work with, please let me know. Most definitely. Mario, you have a question.
Oh, real quick, for people that are doing asynchronous presentations for initiatives tonight, like I was wondering like how you were recording your videos. Like, is it just going to be you talking, or like is it like a PowerPoint and like you talking in the background? I don't know.
Wendy B, any suggestions?
Okay, B said it should be PowerPoint. All right, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And if you run into, technological troubles, shoot B or I an email, and we'll get it sorted. I'm not the best at technology, but I'll try my best. Wendy says that they did hers on Google Slides. Ooh. That's okay. Okay. A quick update on my end to wrap this thing up. Our menstrual products initiative is going to be in the Retriever soon. Morgan Casey is writing an article on it, so it'll be published in the Retriever. Yay! And we've also, I don't want to say we because I don't want to take credit for all the hard work the FYAs have been doing, but they have been working extenuously on various orgs such as Phi Mu, the Society of Women Engineers, as well as the Pre-Med Society to collaborate with this initiative. So job well done on them. Great. All right. Are there any more questions about initiative updates?
Wait, I had a question.
Yes.
So all these organizations, as you just mentioned, they're collaborating with you on the menstrual initiative.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just wanted to note that.
Thanks. There's more SWE and a few other more, but I'm blanking currently at the moment, and I don't have my Excel sheets pulled up. But yes, thank you, and very big shout out to FYAs for making all that happen. Yes. Okay. Shared Governance Committee updates. Julius, you had classroom committee. Floor is all yours, friend.
Okay. It's not loading. Okay. Yeah, this was not, it just wasn't like a lot of new information in my opinion per se. Mostly they were talking about the same things they talked about the previous meeting an entire month ago. Big things really they talked about was just once again they're gonna probably increase the load of hybrid courses or in-person courses in the wow, I can't even think in springtime. But in my opinion, that may change, give or take the rising cases in COVID-19. Because of course, this meeting was before, they told we had a news report saying like 90,000 cases happened. So of course, no one was really thinking that like, well, things are probably about to get a lot worse. So expect that number to probably change or that line of thinking change. They also talked about just like some new classes are being turned to hybrid, like GES, English. Another really big thing that they did was kind of just like started to revise some of the wording and the system, just kind of make the system more efficient for like selecting classes. For example, like I believe in your schedule of courses or whenever you go to like select your classes, you can be told that depending on what class it is, that class may have like a drop off. Basically, like I guess for like the examples, like for like engineering classes for like projects or whatever, like the class is not in person or hybrid this next semester because in the fall it was a hybrid, but all you really did was come in one day to just grab some supplies and get out. But you didn't really have hybrid classes, but for some reason it was actually a hybrid course. So they kind of changed that wording to say, oh, this class is a drop-off option. Instead of just saying this is a hybrid course, but it's not a hybrid course. If you literally come in for a day for like a good 30 minutes just to pick something up and come back and get out, that's not a hybrid course. So that's some things that they did to change. Also, students that have that course where they have just a pickup option don't have to do system tracking because there's really no need for system tracking because they're on campus for like, I don't know, 20 minutes at the most, getting in and getting out and not really interacting with nobody. Anything else? They talked more about the renovations. If you haven't been on campus and you have not seen lecture hall 3 next to next to the commons, yeah, it's completely different. Like the entire carpet's different though. Everything, seating, they got rid of the projector that used to be in the back of the room for like accessibility things, stuff like that. Like I should have took pictures of it because I'm on campus. I don't know why I have not been inside yet. I've seen pictures, but I have not seen the inside of that building yet. But that class is being renovated for hybrid use. It looks amazing. The pictures that they showed us, it looks amazing. They also talked about they're planning on trying to upgrade 2 ITE rooms, and basically we're creating some sort of proposal to bring forward to administration. And they were like talking about the criterias of why these ITE rooms would be suitable to turn into hybrid courses. The same thing could be applied for Sondheim classrooms. I've written down the names of the actual of each classroom that they were looking at. And another thing we talked about, which more or less was more brainstorming, was just them trying to like, how do we get teachers and departments to actually use these rooms so they can be, we're not upgrading them for no reason if no one's going to actually use these hybrid rooms. And that's what they were talking about, just like promotion and things like that. And that's about it. At the end, it was just like they went over like the actual renovations for lecture hall 3, things like seating and how it's almost complete. All they gotta do is more I want to say more audio and visual and just more like AD as they put it. And that's about it. But all the carpeting is almost really complete. It'll probably be done in a few more, in probably a week or two. I'm probably gonna try and check it out and see what it looks like and maybe come back with pictures or something like that and put it in like the SGA group shadows. I mean, where there's teams or something like that.
Yeah, thanks, Julius. If you happen to, swing on by, you should probably, if you could take a picture, because now I'm like really curious and very hyped for this now.
Yeah, I literally like the thing is like when I leave my room, I only really go to the commons and halal shack and back. So it's like, and I never come out the other way like I usually would do. So it's like I really have no way to go over. I don't have to go to that side of campus whatsoever. So I kind of forget. But any questions or comments? That's it on my end.
Yeah, Julius, I had a quick question. Did they talk about for the hybrid, like the possible types of courses for the spring? Is it like tentative to change due to the outcome of these election?
No, we did not bring up the election whatsoever in this meeting. I failed to kind of understand why that will change things per se, but that might be just not really thinking about the election. Because at that time I was remotely not thinking about the election, and I'm still not really thinking about how the election would affect these classes per se. So if you would like to elaborate on that, please do. Why you think that is really important? Because I can definitely bring it up.
Oh gosh, how do I say this? The two presidential candidates. They're very different in terms of, you know, views, and can be kind of unpredictable at times. So that was just my curiosity in that. That's the best way I can on the spot say, but I hope you understand my connotation there.
It will probably be brought up that in COVID increased cases will probably be brought up at the next meeting for sure.
Okay. But yeah, thanks, Julius. This was very thorough. I want to echo what Wendy said. Very thorough and very well done job.
Well,
I have a quick update from Okamoka Management Committee. Nothing too elaborate. It's just they are planning to roll out a perishable food drive through their free space that they have in the back office. And these are the different types of partners, community partners that they're collaborating with. And they were able to get a total funding of $11K from different grants, and as well as Grit Starters, and most notably Baltimore Women's Giving Circle. There were a few concerns in sustainability, since these grants are, you know, one time only, but the purchase of the main use of the grant is going to be used for refrigeration, which is only a one-time purchase. So it's not that too much of a concern, but Dr. Young is very concerned about sustainability within this project. Oh, and this project is in collaboration with Okamoka and Retriever Essentials, called, what was it called? Towards Wholesome Eating. Yes, that's a very brief overview. Oh, and they also won an award for favorite neighborhood on the Nextdoor app. So kudos to them. Are there any questions? Yeah. Okay. All right. Are there any announcements from anyone? I have a quick announcement. Please don't forget to fill out your SRC reports. We transitioned over to Google Sheets, so they are due every Friday by midnight. So please don't forget to do that unless you want to get paid. Candace.
I'm going to defer to B.
B.
Hey folks, so I sent y'all an email regards to the SGA Together Beyond November, rebuilding community after election 2020. So Mershad, Courtney, and myself, we are going to be facilitating conversations post-election this Thursday and Friday. So feel free to choose either one of the sessions. The idea is to bring together not only SGA folks, but also folks from the student body, like the student community at UMBC. So that also includes folks from other student organizations as well. So feel free to please join in on that critical conversation. The link and all the information is on that email. I just sent it out about 20 minutes ago, so please check that out. And thank you, Julius, for filling it out. Appreciate you.
B, do we still need to send you our script or outline?
Thank you for reminding me. Scripts. So I haven't received any scripts yesterday, so I'm giving y'all until tomorrow end of day. If y'all can send me your scripts on what you're going to be talking about for Initiatives Night, that would be grand. Feel free to attach any slides, PowerPoint, or Prezi to that as well if you want me to look over that. The idea is I'm going to be going over your script and providing feedback. Also, if for whatever reason y'all need any practice doing if you're doing synchronously, if y'all need some practice to do it synchronously with me, feel free to let me know and we can schedule a quick one-on-one to make that happen this week. For those of you who have one-on-ones with me this week, we can definitely put that into your one-on-one time. Thank you.
Dope. Yes. Anybody else have an update? Candace is going like this, so I'm assuming
Yeah,
Candace.
I was eating pizza. Sorry, my kid brought me pizza, and I can't say no to her.
Oh.
If hi, yeah, stop, leave me alone. I love you. Chill out, Cub Scout. No more. No more. No more. I can't mute myself.
Oh, adorable.
I'm glad you think so. Thank you to those of you who have scheduled check-ins with me. I've enjoyed meeting with you. If you haven't done that yet, and you don't have a regularly scheduled one-on-one with me, not going to say your names. You know who you are. I'd love to meet with you and see you and check in on you and talk with you. I'm not that scary. Ask Julius. Stares into camera. So yeah, just grab some 30 minutes on my calendar. Don't be scared, nail up in there. You're fine. You know I don't bite. It's fine. It's fine. But I love to check in with you, see how you're doing. And just like if you want to talk to somebody about like not SGA stuff and anything, like, yeah. I mean, Julius and I don't think we talked about SGA stuff the whole time, did we? No, I don't, maybe a little bit. We checked in on stuff. No, we didn't. And I mean, and Wendy and I have one-on-one every week, and we talk about SGA stuff for like 10 minutes. And then we just talk about all the other stuff. Yeah, Erica and FYAs can do it too. Why not? I'll put my link in the Senate. Yes, I love you all. I miss you terribly. Please set up your check-ins with me. Okay, bye.
Oh, we miss you, Candace. I'm especially going to miss our corner whisper days during Senate meetings. Okay. Are there any more updates? Just trying to go back to the SGA office. I felt that. I nearly went nuts. Oh no. Okay. So I will adjourn the meeting at 6:39 p.m. and I'll end the recording. Oh, and we also ended early. Significant.